Hey Cully, so why are we thinking again?
What is it that would make us consider or reconsider our most favourite tent in the entire world?
Yeah. Well, our tent's wetting out.
Yes.
Yeah. It's wetting out and we've fab sealed it. I think it's fab sealed gold or ultimate, one of the two.
No, just so you know, in our last one, Tigris, we
Yes.
didn't have to seal it. It seemed to work fine from the get-go.
Yeah.
But the first night we had rain in this tent, we noticed it was coming through. So we thought, oh, well, maybe it just wasn't treated prior to, being sent out from production.
Yeah.
So we thought, right, okay, fair enough. We had
Well, we were at Peter's, weren't we?
yeah. So we had the access to the fab seal, and
Well, we had to stay in his porch that night, a conservatory thing,
yeah,
with the door open.
Oh, we didn't sleep a wink.
No, because as many of you may know, that if you're using fab steel, it's pongy.
Yeah,
And,
we weren't going to put the dog through that,
No.
let
Or
alone
us.
ourselves. Yeah, but especially the dog. I mean, his nose is very sensitive, isn't it, compared to ours? So it wouldn't have been fair. So we just slept in the porch with the tent within reaching distance of the door open, and every now and then, because we couldn't sleep, we just kept getting out and smelling, and we left the doors open in the tent to try and keep it aired.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter, until 24 hours later, it finally started to obey a bit, didn't it?
I mean, Fab Seal says it takes 6 hours to dry and be fume free, but no, I don't think it was.
No,
I think it's a lot longer.
Yeah.
Especially just to get that real pongy, aroma out of the air, isn't it?
Yeah, it starts to make you feel a bit queasy.
Yeah.
Gives you a headache. But needless to say, we did give it 2 coats.
Yes.
And this Fab Seal Gold, everyone rages about it, but
ultimate or gold,
apparently it's like the best on the market.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, I don't really know why I think we were just hoping and praying it was going to work this time, because the last time we used this Fab Seal Gold was on our bags, because the bags we have, they're not waterproof bags, so you have to get a cover for them. And we thought, well, if we can waterproof them, it saves having to worry about a cover.
Yeah.
So we literally drowned the bags in it, dried them out. First time it rained, everything in our bags got wet.
Yes.
It didn't work. So
I don't know why we thought it would work on a tent again. Mind you, because it's fabric, isn't it? You think the fabric's going to take it all in, and because it's a nylon-based sort of tent, we just thought that it might have soaked it up.
Yeah, but it clearly hadn't.
No.
So the day that we told you about that we got really wet and muddy, what we didn't tell you about was we actually had a bit of a problem with a flooding situation then, but because we was in a woodland,
yes,
we got it fixed real quick because we had all the trees around us. We just jumped out, tarp up, everything was fine. We only had a little bit of drip, which we wiped off, and that was all cool. But of course, when we came here and then we realised there was a storm coming in, we thought, right, well, we'll book a couple of extra days because we don't want to end up with all of our kit wet again and then having to book or find somewhere else to dry our stuff.
Or trudging those, cold, wet, damp clothes, stinking.
It's just uncomfortable, right? So we figured we'll stay. But of course, what we didn't take into account in staying here is that there's no trees to set the tarp up on.
And we're right out in the open, aren't we?
Yeah, it's like it's an open area. Don't get me wrong, this campsite is amazing. I love it.
Yeah. I saw Tim yesterday as well. You were awesome. I was in the world of my own.
But, so it's not the campsite's fault. This is how all campsites are set up.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't want trees everywhere because they need people to have space for their tents.
And insurance purposes too.
Yeah,
deadfall and things like that, widowmakers.
Yeah, so, but so there's one thing that we didn't really take into account when we I thought, we'll stay a bit behind here and, maybe we could have kept dry actually if we were in the woods, but who knows. So we were in a bit of a conundrum. We spent over 24 hours in the rain, in here, trying to...
Googling the absolute shite out of everything. This tent, that tent, this tent, that tent, this tent.
Different fab seals.
Nick waxes, fab seals, different...
Homemade remedies.
Yeah, all sorts. And so I've thought of like a TP tent, because then you've kind of got the same sort of bed spaces in here, but Tara doesn't like that, and that's cool.
The thing is for me they're a little bit ugly. I don't like the look of them, and they stick out like a sore thumb. Even if you've got one that's a khaki colour,
Yeah.
You notice that shape really easily in a woodland.
Yes, you do. I mean, even like kids or adults that have made like bashers or TP wood houses and stuff, when you're scanning across the woodland, it just, you can see it.
Just grabs your eye immediately.
Yeah, I mean, like with this tent, you could argue because it is like that, it might stand out, but it's a much lower profile. I mean, it's the roof's there,
And of course, the advantage of this tent, because it's not as high as what a teepee tent would be, you can have a tarp over it, and because the tarp is camouflaged, we can blend in a lot better. Yeah. Whereas if you had a teepee tent, you would struggle with the tarp with that. I mean, it really wouldn't even be worth having a tarp because it'd be so high. The rain would just be coming in from underneath anyway.
You might as well just put lights on, bells and whistles, and go, ooh, over here.
So this is my argument against a teepee. So then we're looking at, look, we used to use a Van Gogh Orion back in the day when we first
200.
Yeah, when we first hooked up, we were using a Van Gogh Orion. They're really quite hardy tents, and I do really vouch for them. They're really good tents.
Yeah.
Problem is they're not great for sitting up in.
No.
So I'd be much taller. I mean, I can sit up in them. I mean, but I'm a midgie.
Tara's tiny.
I'm midgie, right? Like, I'm tiny. So for me, I can sit and eat, but for Mod, he can't even sit and eat.
He's constantly like that, slunched.
Trying to eat like this. It's just not nice. So again, and the other thing with the Van Gogh Orion, poles.
Yes, the
I
poles.
really can't do poles anymore. No. I have suffered so many pole breakages over the years.
Don't get me wrong, for the solo camper or the couple going away for a weekend, Van Gogh Orion 200 is still on sale at the moment, 120 quid, something like that on Amazon.
Yeah, really good.
Really good tent, absolutely brilliant. But for living in 24/7 like us,
it just hurts your back.
It hurts your back, and because it's a tunnel tent, you've only got one way in, one way out. Whereas Tara's got her door, I've got my door. Yeah. It's just more versatile for us and our needs and our lifestyle, I guess.
And the great thing is if one of these breaks, you just pick up another one. And in fact, because we're mostly in the countryside, if you go to a countryside charity shop, a lot of the times they'll have things like walking poles and stuff in there.
Or failing that, in case there's some button bashers, just get a sapling or a proper nice big bit of staff, bung that up into the connector up there.
Yeah, mark off your height that you want, cut it off.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Probably about 120.
Yeah, it's about 120, yeah.
Yeah, 120 centimetres.
Yeah.
Something like that. So the versatility of this tent. And also, because, it's a pole tent, these tabs up here, as you can see, you probably see the guy rope there, right? With that, when we're in a woodland with lots of trees around, you can actually just string up from one tree to another. You don't even need the poles.
These, no. So if these break, it's not a disaster in the immediate moment, because in the immediate moment, you can literally, like Moz just said, use a stick. That's fine. Any sticks, just cut it down. But or just string it up. Yeah,
or string it up. Yeah, as long as you've got a good.
See, with the pole tents like the Van Gogh Orion, when you've got that pole break, even. I know you can get your little break fixers, and trust me, we had one, didn't we? We had this pole in this tent. We refixed this tent with all the little pole connector bits. It was an absolute joke to pull it out, and we were a laughing stock of any campsite.
I mean, if you think like your poles go, if you want to hold that for me, babe. So you think of if you hold it there, you think of a pole tent. The minute you've got any wind coming in, it's bowing and it's pushing like that,
or it's going like this.
Yeah, and you're going side to side, charge cable, but it's going side to side. But the minute that snaps, especially if it snaps there, then you've got to repair that, and then you've always going to have that kink
and that weak point,
that it's going to snap again. We had it a few times. Our old pole for the Van Gogh Orion, the front pole, I think we had 8 snaps in that.
Yeah, until eventually we started using holly
saplings.
You can't make it up. And having to walk around with 2 big holly saplings sticking out of your bag, you just look a fool.
We looked stupid, but we weren't stupid, obviously, because we adapted. However, it just looks a bit silly.
Yeah, no one wants to look like that going along, right? So, what are we going to do?
Yeah, what are we going to do?
We can't come to a compromise on another tent.
No.
We've been through it all. We've been through the whole fab scening thing. We know that this isn't going to work either. A new tent, no thank you. I love this tent. I really want it. I think the only alternative is to look at a slightly bigger tarp.
Yeah, possibly.
Just, I mean, really, it only needs a little bit around each. And it turns out an extra, slightly bigger tarp will be cheaper than replacing the tent.
Yes, yeah.
So why not?
A lot cheaper.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be a new tarp. When and where and how we're going to acquire such a thing whilst being on the move like this.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. What we've got to try and do is push the tarp back, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, I think what it is where we set it up, it was okay, apart from just about a foot at the back behind our heads. So all of the stuff that we keep behind our pillows, wow, it was. Yeah. Well, let's have a look in a big puddle.
Let's have a look at the back of the tent.
Yeah, and we'll see where it's shy.
So there you go. As you can see, the rest of it's dry all the way up there, isn't it? And then, so it's the back that's getting wet, but it's only because of the sky space, I think.
And it does look like it's beading.
It is beading. It is beading.
But the thing is inside, it's going through as well. I mean, I had like my wash bag behind my pillow, and I picked my wash bag up and I could pour the water out of it. That's how bad it got in there.
It was quite bad, wasn't
it? Thankfully, it was behind our pillows, so our actual bed space stayed dry. But of course, we do want to remedy this because although we've got a bit of sunshine at the moment, it's not going to be for long.
No, it's literally like a few hours and the rain's coming back in again, isn't it?
Yeah, so we want to try and... we've got two choices, really. We either move the tent forward, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare because the ground is so saturated.
Yeah.
So our best alternative is to see if we can pull this tarp
right against the beach.
Yeah, which might mean tying it up on the other side of the beach.
Yeah, mind you, it's pretty through and through, so it should be all right.
I mean, this is the issue you have with campsites, right? Because campsites don't typically have trees everywhere because they need the space for the tents.
Yeah.
Well, for the tents, when you haven't got one that's particularly overtly waterproof and you need to rely on your tarp to protect you from that, you know, you're left with things like little bush breaks to try and manage it with. But I'm sure we can work it out. We're resourceful.
But I mean, as you can see here as well, like it's soaking through. And don't worry, Nikki, this is nothing on you, mate. I mean, we're really, really, really grateful. But for some reason, even us treating it, it just doesn't seem to... I mean, yeah, it beads well. But for some reason, the inside, and it's not condensation, this is when the rain's coming, it's wetting out, isn't it?
Well, the reason why we're saying it's not condensation is because when you get out of the tent and you can see the wets from here to here, and the inside of the tent is only wet in that first little space, it's clearly not condensation. Condensation will come from the top.
The top isn't wet. So, I mean, as I previously mentioned, you know, we have fab sealed this, and I've done it with the big spray one for the first lot of coating, and then the second coating I put on with a paintbrush to keep that wet edge like it already says to do. And for some reason it just ain't doing it, you know. Fab seal or not to fab seal, that is the ultimate question, right? And from our experience at the moment, don't fab seal.
Well, it just wasn't worth it. It didn't really do anything. It done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and it was the Fab Seal Gold, wasn't it? You know, it's not the first time we've used it.
No. And it's not the first time we had used it and it didn't work.
No, the rain's starting to come in now as well. It's already just started.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a wriggle on.
And there we go. That was bloody good timing, I think. It's just started real coming in. Yeah, there's a bit of blue. But we've managed to get it so it's low on this side, prevailing wind. High on that side. Tara's still able to cook in that area. And yeah. The only problem I do see, just down here, it's starting to get the rain coming in on it. But I mean, it's not actually anywhere near the inside of the tent, so that's fine there. And don't worry, these here and there, they won't leak through, and if they do, they're going down the doors. One of the main reasons we do this is because with that prevailing wind coming in, you're going to get lots of runoff, lots of shake and rain, but by keeping it low on this side, it just allows that wind just to shoot up just over you have to adapt these things. It's not a one size fits all. You know, the minute you start doing a one size fits all, you start getting into trouble, because one setup won't work for another setup and vice versa. So I think what we've decided is we're going to get a bigger tarp, but we don't know yet. And this is 3 meters by 3 meters. So it does the job, it covers the tent. Looking down, it covers the tent that side. Obviously now we're right against the hedge, so that bit will be protected now as well. A little bit of overhang on this side, but not much really if you think about it. And then in Tara's side, hey babe. She's still got the space to cook. And then looking down, straight down, it's like that. So Tara's always going to have the overhang as the wind is coming from that direction. It juts up here nicely. So Callie, as we said, we'd show you the good times and the bad. This is one of our bad moments. Let us know what you think. Not for us, but let us know what you think, how you combat these sorts of issues for yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we live this way, so it's not a case of we know it all. It's a case of this is what works for us and how we overcome such adversities whilst living this way.
Yes.
You know, so it's
And on the note of adversities, actually,
Yeah.
we thought we'd cheer ourselves up.
Thanks to you guys. We'll leave you over the screen. You're absolutely awesome, and it is really nice at times like this. You just feel a bit, although we've got a nice little campsite to stay on for a couple of days, you just feel a bit beaten down.
Yeah.
And it is nice just to have a nice beverage, chill out. We got like a motorbike crew looking at us trying to do our video as well. But no, you guys are awesome. The support, you know, it is really great. And there's a lot of people out there go, oh, your support is really great. It helps us to, you know, do the channel and make these videos. Now we're going to make the videos anyway.
But you know what? It helps us get through the day.
Yes.
So when we have times like this, I mean, obviously on that time, we weren't getting out and getting a beer because it was absolutely hammering it down. But we thought, well, whilst we got a little bit of time out of the rain, fix the tent up, do a video, explain the plight to yourselves, cheer ourselves up with a little bevy.
Holiday and relax like normal people do. You know, common people.
I might even get a shower in a bit.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Why not?
I don't want to wear perfumes and stuff because they're real heavy on the chest. Guys don't wear perfumes.
Yeah.
Why am I wearing cologne? I live in the woods.
Yeah.
But it's all cool. You know.
Trees don't care for cologne.
No. other people's pee that they just decide to sell and extract from urine. All right.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. The sun's coming out, so we had that bit of rain to sort the tarp, and now the sun's out, and
we're having a beer, and we're all happy, and we don't care.
Exactly. And we're not changing the tent. I mean, unless there's one of you out there, some of you out there that might go, there's a tent exactly like yours. Now, not the Dutch Army tent. No, because it doesn't have the porches.
It needs to be the right colour.
Yep.
It needs to not be a pole tent.
Yep.
It has to be a trekking pole tent.
Trekking pole tent or freestand. Not freestanding.
No,
not
definitely
freestanding.
Not freestanding. It needs to be double skinned.
Yes.
That's another perk of ours that we like.
It doesn't have to be 4 season, because 4 season you get the snow flaps, you get all sorts of weird stuff, and personally I don't like them. Also,
4 season is quite difficult in the summer. We need something that will go through both winter and summer. And like we say, by utilising a tarp, we're able to get a 3 season into a 4 season. So why bother with a 4, right?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Well, we're going to enjoy ourselves. So, you know, if you are new here or returning, you know, do hit that subscribe button. It all really does help.
Well, we're hoping to get to, 100,000?
100,000 this year.
Yeah, by the end of the year. Now, I know that's a massive climb.
It's a huge climb. A huge
but
climb.
You've got to have goals in life.
If you haven't got goals, you can't score.
Exactly, right?
Anyway, Callie.
Happy hopping.